Welcome to Living a Full Life podcast. Join us as we explore health topics that encourage raising healthy children, living a healthy life, and living the best life possible. Now, here's your host.
Hello, I'm Enrico Dolcecore here on another podcast of Living a Full Life. This week's podcast is super fun. It's on the life, the myth, the legend, Jack LaLanne, the Godfather of Fitness. Now, if you're under 40, you probably don't know who Jack LaLanne is. If you do, great. If you're over 40, chances are higher. If you're over 60, you definitely know who Jack LaLanne is. Jack LaLanne pioneered what we know today as fitness. So in today's episode, let's dive into the life and legacy of a true fitness pioneer. You know, Jack LaLanne, known as the Godfather of Fitness, revolutionized the health and wellness industry with his innovative approaches to exercise, nutrition, and overall well-being. We should need to understand what Jack LaLanne really did. A couple things, even in the internet, when you search and on AI, they're incorrect when you search his legacy, and they miss some things about what made him be who he was and how he innovated exercise and nutrition. Jack LaLanne first was born in San Francisco in 1914. LaLanne experienced personal health struggles as a child, which influenced his life to do the things that he did. These things were like poor eating habits and lack of physical activity. And he knew that these things were affecting not just himself, but his entire family. So his life took a turn when he attended a lecture by a famous nutritionist at the time, Paul Bragg. Paul Bragg, used to go around the country talking around all the universities about nutrition. And this was early on. This was in the, in the 40s, 30s, 40s. This was World War II time. Bragg's teachings inspired LaLanne to pursue a career in fitness and wellness. And that's what set him on his path to being the Godfather of Fitness, which we're going to get into in a little bit and talk about how those things have now permeated society in what we now know as fitness. But one little hidden gem that people don't know about Jack LaLanne is that he was a chiropractor. So as he got interested in nutrition and fitness, it led him to chiropractic in California. He went to California Chiropractic at the time. In the early 40s. At that time, it was an 18 to 24-month program. It was a diploma. You walked out as a chiropractor. You could be in high school and get this diploma too. So it was usually during high school or post high school. So he was young at the time, and he went through the program and became a chiropractor. And chiropractor just fueled his interest and love for nutrition and fitness moving forward, and then innovated physiology in that as well. That's what we learned through chiropractic school, was anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, and how the body worked. And this all influenced Jack to impact what we now know as the fitness industry. So he innovated the approaches to exercise. So he sought and promoted the idea that anyone, regardless of their age or their fitness level, could improve their health through physical activity alone, substituted with good nutrition. He was a pioneer, and that's what it came to exercise at the time. People didn't really exercise before. They didn't really think of exercise. You either went out and labored, or that was it, or you sat around and did, administrative type stuff. He introduced the concept of weight training to the general public long before it became popular. So he also developed numerous exercise machines and gadgets that you may know of today, such as the first leg extension machine and the Smith machine, which are still widely used today in every single gym you go to. The Smith machine is the one that's guided on the bars. So you can't actually remove the bar from the machine. It's guided, and it's got the safety hooks. You just twist it, hooks on there. So that's how he innovated fitness and these machines that we were using before. Because before that time, everyone that went to a gym would just lift weights. They would just have dumbbells and barbells, and you just add the weight to them and do full body type exercise and just lift these things. Some of them weren't even detachable. They were just bars that weighed 100 pounds, bars that weighed 80 pounds. And that was just the way it was. So Jack innovated and said, well, this is great for, 20 something, 30 something healthy people that can come in here and do it. But what about somebody that has a bad knee or a bad hip or a bad back? How can they get motivated to exercise, because exercise is so important. And that's where he modified some of these machines, and the machines that we use in the circuits, the leg extension, the leg curl, the press, the shoulder press, all these things came from Jack LaLanne's teachings of assisted movement to make it safe. Very cool. And it is certainly safer than trying to lift heavy weights on your own. So that was pretty cool. He then moved into what was television and media influence. So Jack, got, his expertise and passion for fitness was evident because he was able to get to the masses and amplify through TV and media. And that's what made Jack LaLanne so popular. Once he got in there in California, getting on the local shows and then getting to the national shows, that's where Jack LaLanne's fame kind of took off. He ended up getting the Jack LaLanne Show in 1951. That was cool. And he brought exercise routines and nutritional advice to people in their living rooms. And his energy and charismatic personality made fitness accessible and appealing to a wide audience. So he was just a charismatic type guy. His show aired from 1951 to 1985. Very, very cool that he was able to span two generations and really influence what we now know as exercise at the gym. That was very cool. He wasn't just a guru when it came to exercise. He also had a passionate advocate. He was a passionate advocate for healthy living and vocal proponent of preventative diseases. This was his chiropractic background of understanding that, the body was vital and healable if we stay in a preventative and healthy state. And if we continue to influence preventative, then we can battle all types of diseases before they even actually become a disease. So this is where Jack LaLanne, campaigned for the importance of regular physical activity and a balanced diet. And he influenced the American Health Organization, the American Food Guide. That was it. He actually influenced that in the 1980s. He also promoted the idea of using exercise as a means of preventing chronic disease. So he tied the two things together, saying, staying regularly active prevents the chronic diseases at the time, which were, cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, all these things. His advocacy work included lobbying for nutrition education in schools and encouraging government's initiatives to combat obesity. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? We're still doing that up to today. So Jack LaLanne's impact on health and wellness industry cannot be overstated. His legacy lives on through the countless lives he's transformed and the enduring principles he's championed. I highly encourage you look into Jack LaLanne's history and his biography. He's influenced things such as juicing as well. There was a Jack LaLanne juicer that he came out in his show. There was nutrition. There was band work, chair workouts, living room workouts. He really just pioneered a lot of things and brought them to people's homes and their living rooms because of the media influence through television. But he emphasized on the mind-body connection as well. The importance of regular exercise and a balanced diet continues to inspire individuals and fitness professionals up to today. So I just wanted to give a little tribute to Jack LaLanne. He's no longer with us. Jack passed about 15 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. He was 98. He made it. So people always ask, how did Jack was 90 up to 98, healthy person. The year before he died, he got a bout of pneumonia. He fought it off. 6 months went by, got another bronchitis, a little bit, fought that off. And then 12 months after the original pneumonia diagnosis, he got pneumonia again. And at that time, he did not win that last battle, but he was 98. And up until that point of being 97 years old, vital, going to the gym every day. He said, you spend 2 hours a day every morning working out. That was just his lifestyle. And he was a role model showing you, what was possible if you did have a steady and regular routine when it came to health and fitness. So that was really cool there. And I've been meaning to share his story for quite a while. So I'm glad we had a chance to do this. Look into it. He's still his products are all over the place. You can just look up LaLanne. The LaLanne family and his grandkids still run the LaLanne companies. He's got some subsidiaries out there. And he's everywhere. He's touched a little bit of everything. He's created an empire. And that's great. And they are living his memory through, continuing to influence both at a political level, in the schools and with programs. So look into the LaLanne family and foundation, what they do. some cool stuff there. But it leads into, back to health and wellness. I think Jack LaLanne sums up my entire podcast, because it feels like every week we're talking about what's the top 5 things you can do for fill in the blank, whatever the topic is of the podcast that week. And guess what number 1 and 2 is? If you've been listening to even 3 of these podcasts, you pretty much guessed what they are: diet and exercise. We always talk, and they always end up in the top 3 because they're just that important to health and wellness. We know this. And the problems we encounter, and we say, why does disease run rampant? It's because we don't have a consistent habitual program that we follow, especially in North America. We're very nonchalant about everything that we do, except when it comes to money. I think North Americans are very defensive when it comes to their money, and they value money more so than anywhere else in the world. It's very true, especially in America. And where am I going with this? It means that we'll make decisions that are foundational based on money more so than based on our health. So, it makes no sense. It really doesn't make any sense. And being a chiropractor and being able to talk to such great people that come to you all the time for your assistance, it's great to hear a common theme with everyone who says, I do this. I go to the chiropractor. I go to the gym. I go to the Whole Foods. I buy this nutrition, this supplements. And it would be interesting to see their bank account, like their debit account, what comes out, the transactions that they do. When I coach other health professionals, I'm a consultant on the side. When I coach them, when they're running into major business issues, I tell them, give me your last 3 months of your credit card statement or your debt, whatever you use primarily to make your payments. Let's see that. It'll take me 5 minutes to show you where your values are in your business. You can do this on a personal level. Print your receipt, print your statement for the month or the last 2 months, and look at all your purchases. Look where all your money is going. You think you know where it's going, but you really don't, because you don't do this on a monthly basis. Do this, and you'll see where your values are prioritized. My wife and I have a credit card that we use, and the statement comes together, but it shows which credit card makes which purchases. 90% of my wife's purchases are all food, supplements, nutrition, and some Amazon things for the house. That's all it is. She just focuses on the diet and nutrition for our family. Priority number 1, hands down. It takes 5 seconds to look at her credit card statements. And then some of the other stuff she buys, Amazon and online shopping. That's fine, but still doesn't outweigh what we do for our food and nutrition. And you look at my statements, and it's all business related. That's all I do is I drive my business. I spend everything there, and then you'll see a couple golf tee times on my statement as well. But there's no clothing stores, there's no video games, there's no electronic purchases, there's no car dealership stuff, there's no you put your money where your values are. And that's what I'm trying to say here. Jack LaLanne valued healthy living through nutrition and exercise. He spent his entire life doing that. And when people, we make it sound easy, it's because when you look at your statement, you'll see it. You'll see the stop at, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, McDonald's, the Chick-fil-A, pizza place, eating out here, eating out there, eating out there, eating out there, eating out here, eating out here. In 30 days, you'll have 10, 12, 15, 20 external purchases for food, not the grocery store. We can't dissect what you're buying at the grocery store because we won't know through your credit card statement. But hopefully you're going to the grocery store for the healthy food. But all those pit stops that we make in between, where are we stopping? What are we getting? Is it always French fries? And that's where the American culture goes with this, is it's always fast food. It's always this stuff. And that is the culprit. And we want to blame the food industry for this, but they're just setting up shop on every corner, just doing their thing, providing French fries for people, and people line up around the block getting it. I mean, can you really blame them for doing that? I mean, the drug dealer shows up on the corner and he sells drugs. I mean, it's illegal to do that. And I know where the concept comes from. Like, why isn't the fast food industry illegal? Well, the substances that we know that are out there, trans fats and saturated fats and all these things that are being blocked, high fructose corn syrup from being put into the foods. That's the first step. But to point a finger, when you point one finger forward, 3 point back at you. My grandma always told me that. And it's your responsibility. You don't have to make those pit stops. This isn't a call out or making you feel bad. I wanted to start with Jack LaLanne's story because it's inspiring. But at the end of the day, people like Jack LaLanne, people like Enrico, people like Christine, people like Mercola, all the Jack Wolfson, all of us that are out there to try and help society live healthier are going to lose a battle when we cave to the things that make us sick. And it comes from our food and our diet. So we make all those pit stops. We don't exercise. And we go, woe is me, when we're 44 with high blood pressure and figuring out why the heck we have to admit ourselves to the hospital. Yeah. I mean, get up there and fly around the world and experience some parts of the world, because sometimes the basics just give you all the answers. I mean, I think we were just blessed being here in North America and having all the assets that we do and access that we do. But sometimes we lose perspective on the simple things that can guide us off trail. And that's there too. Same thing with work and all the things that we do there. So thanks to Jack LaLanne, we have these gyms everywhere. I mean, Gold's Gym was one of the first influences of Jack LaLanne's teachings with the mechanics and the machines, but it's expanded since all the gyms do this now. And we've come a long way. These machines are super cool. Pretty much limit your chances of injury or falling on you or all these things. It's really cool where we've come, and they're great way to keep fit and stay fit, but it also comes with nutrition as well. And nutrition is habitual. You just have to have nutrition. I tell people, when we're helping them with weight loss, or we're helping them with anti-inflammation, or we're helping them with getting healthy, whatever it is, nutrition's boring. You have to change your perspective of why you eat. You're there to fuel your body. Somebody who's trying to put on muscle is being fueled very differently and eating very differently than someone who's trying to decrease inflammation, than someone who's trying to get healthier, than someone who's trying to lose weight. It's very different, the food groups that they'll eat and the quantities of those food groups that they'll eat as well. So understanding what your goals are. But Jack LaLanne's message was, if we stay preventative, we can avoid major chronic diseases by keeping a certain habit going. He was habitual with the gym 2 hours every day. He was habitual with his diet. Those are the best tips I got from Jack LaLanne's life. Look him up. Super cool biography that he has, and all the little things that he's touched. You're gonna be like, wow. But I wanted to remind everyone, he is a chiropractor. He was a chiropractor. He did go to chiropractic school and was there, because you go onto Chat GPT and it says no, he was not a chiropractor. So AI is wrong more than you think. Have a great week. Stay healthy. Stay well.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Living a Full Life podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.